What if I told you that almost every single problem in business, from chronically delayed projects to massive traffic jams in your supply chain, could actually be traced back to just one single root cause? I know it sounds a little wild, right? But fixing that one specific bottleneck could literally elevate your entire organization overnight.
To really get this, just picture a classic metal chain. If you want that chain to hold more weight, you're not going to waste time reinforcing all the links at once, right? Because the strength of the chain isn't determined by its strongest link, it is entirely determined by its weakest one. And you know what? Business systems work exactly the same way.
This core idea is basically the beating heart of the Theory of Constraints Handbook. It's this incredibly comprehensive guide to Eliyahu M. Goldratt's highly influential management philosophy. So in today's explainer, we are going to distill its biggest takeaways to show you exactly how top organizations use this framework to rapidly boost both their speed and profitability. Let's jump right in. All right, the Theory of Constraints, or TOC as we'll call it, starts with one fundamental definition. A constraint is basically anything that limits a system from achieving higher performance toward its goal. The massive mindset shift here is realizing that organizations absolutely have to stop trying to improve everything all at once. Because, honestly, focusing on everything just means you're focusing on nothing. And what is truly staggering here is the sheer scale of this reality. The handbook actually notes that in most complex organizations, roughly 0.1% of the elements dictate 99.9% of the results. Think about that. Out of 1,000 moving parts, just one, literally one, is your true bottleneck. Talk about giving a whole new meaning to the word focus, right? So, how do we actually fix these bottlenecks? Well, that brings us to the blueprint, the 5 focusing steps. TOC provides this incredibly practical repeating cycle. Step 1, identify the constraint. You got to find your weakest link. Step 2, exploit it. That means making absolutely sure that bottleneck is being used to its maximum potential. No downtime. Step 3, subordinate everything else. So align all your other non-constraints to match the bottleneck's pace. Step 4 is elevate. This is where you finally spend the money or resources to increase that constraint's capacity. And then, step 5, repeat the whole process. Because once you break one constraint, guess what? A new one is going to pop up. Continuous improvement really never stops.
Now let's look at some real-world applications. Application number 1, fixing projects using the critical chain method.
We all know traditional projects constantly run late, right? It's usually because of multitasking and padded time estimates that just end up getting wasted anyway. Well, Critical Chain completely changes the game with a relay runner approach. You get the work, you focus only on that work, and you pass the baton immediately. Instead of padding every individual little task, it places strategic safety buffers at the very end of the project. This protects the global timeline, which gives you drastically faster, way more reliable delivery.
Moving right along to application 2, maximizing flow with a concept called drum buffer rope.
Okay, so here's how this uniquely named system actually works. The drum is your constraint. It beats the rhythm and sets the pace for the entire factory. The buffer is strategic time placed right before the drum to protect it from Murphy's Law, making sure that drum is literally never starved for work. And finally, the rope. This is a signaling mechanism telling the front of the line to release new materials only at the rate the drum can actually process them. The big takeaway here? Your goal isn't just maximizing constant busy activity everywhere. Your goal is maximizing total flow through the whole system.
And that leads us to our final application, supply chains and throughput accounting.
You see, traditional cost accounting tries to allocate fixed expenses down to individual products, which honestly usually leads to terrible localized decisions. But look at how TOC handles this. It replaces all that complex math with 3 super simple global metrics. First, throughput, which is just the cash generated through sales. Second, inventory, meaning the money tied up in things you actually intend to sell. And third, operating expense, the money you spend turning that inventory into throughput. Using these 3 metrics instantly reveals how any decision you make affects the entire system, not just one isolated department. It's a total game changer.
So, if you only take away one vital lesson from this entire explainer, let it be this: stop optimizing everything. Seriously, just stop. Improving a non-constraint is a complete illusion. You have to find your constraint, improve it, and then go find the next one. This kind of singular focus is what yields the absolute greatest results with the least amount of wasted effort.
And that wraps up our look at the Theory of Constraints. I really hope this framework helps you pinpoint exactly where to focus your energy next. Think about it.
If you could eliminate the single biggest bottleneck holding your system back right now, what would it be? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. And hey, don't forget to tell me which business or productivity book we